Junior, good afternoon to you. Talk to us about what stood out for you. As I was remarking earlier, on a lighter note, he says, General Sibiya says, does he look like a person who hangs out with criminals? And that could be taken as a very light moment when the difficult questions come. Talk to us about what stood out for you.
Indeed, Xoli, that was quite tongue-in-cheek there by the suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya, basically asking the commissioners if he does look like someone who hangs out with criminals or someone who deals in drugs, because those are some of the allegations that have been placed before this particular commission. But if those allegations are anything to go by, some of the witnesses here basically have already indicated that he was actually in cahoots with some of these alleged cartel bosses, and he was aiding them in doing whatever illicit workings they were actually doing. But just from his own testimony, going step by step, they're denying some of the allegations that have been made by those who have testified before him, starting off with General Mkhwanazi from KwaZulu-Natal, basically saying that the challenge with Mkhwanazi's own testimony is that he failed basically when he came before this particular commission to admit to some of his own wrongdoings. According to Sibiya, he basically says that there was an opportunity for Mkhwanazi to take back those 121 dockets that had been moved from KZN to Gauteng. He, Mkhwanazi, then refused to take those dockets but came before this particular commission and then claimed that there were delays in processing some of those investigations owing to those dockets gathering dust in Sibiya's own office. This is not the first time we've had someone basically claiming that Mkhwanazi has come before this particular commission and failed to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. We did hear from the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal, General Sinona, also coming before this commission and saying that Mkhwanazi also failed to tell this commission that he actually had a meeting with Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala. This meeting, according to him, being put in place, or this meeting being made to happen by former Minister Bheki Cele, but when Mkhwanazi appeared before this particular commission, did not mention that he had met with Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala at his own premises. So quite damning allegations against Mkhwanazi, but also refuting, this is Sibiya, also refuting any relationship with Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala as having been claimed by a number of witnesses that have appeared before this particular commission, saying that the only time he met Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala was when he came to his office in January 2024 and he was complaining about his tender and how he was being treated by the SAPS. So saying that he also did not text Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala, as was some of the claims that were made here. But let's take a listen to what he had to say about this relationship with Vusumuzi Matlala.
I place on record that I was not a participant in those conversations, as it is evident from the material relied upon. My name is merely mentioned. I did not form part of the messaging group or the exchanges themselves. The conversations in question are said to be between one Brown Mokgotsi and Matlala, in which my name is purportedly referenced. I have no knowledge or involvement in those exchanges and no information as to how these alleged messages were extracted, preserved, or presented to the commission. It is entirely unclear how these messages were obtained, what methodology was employed in their extraction, and whether their integrity and authenticity have been preserved. Accordingly, I am unable to confirm the authenticity, accuracy, or context of these purported WhatsApp communications and cannot speak to their legitimacy, completeness, or reliability. Any attempt to rely on these alleged messages as evidence against me is therefore misleading and unfair.
All right, so that is Shadrack Sibiya on the stand there at the Madlanga Commission. Junior, quickly before we let you go, we have heard this before, by the way, that the text messages can be altered. And we have heard it from people such as the former general of the police, Jeremy Veery. We're going to talk to him in a few moments. But before I let you go, it could be argued, Junior, that in the main, the question here has to do with, was Sibiya at the forefront of the efforts to disband the PKTT? Today, he has had the opportunity to put forward his side of the story before the commission. What did he say exactly?
Indeed, Xoli, that was one of the biggest questions coming into Mr. Sibiya's testimony, whether he was involved in the disbanding of that PKTT and what exactly were his reasons for this. We've heard from Kwanazi, we've heard from Masemula, all of them saying that it was because of that raid that happened at Vusumuziket Matlala's home, as well as Gatiso Mulife's home, that led to this particular disbandment. It was Sibiya as well as Mchunu trying to protect these alleged cartel bosses. But when it was put to him on whether there is any truth to this, he basically said that that disbandment of the PKTT was something long in the making. Discussions around the disbandment, according to him, started as far back as November 2024 and not after that raid that happened on the 6th of December. So he seems to say that everyone knew within the police leadership that a task team has a start and an ending date, and this political task team had actually done its work, so it was inevitable that it was going to be shut down, Xoli.